Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Courtney and I'm a full-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay. And today I'm here to share my 20 highest priced sales on Poshmark. Try to figure out how to say it, but basically the 20 items that brought in the most amount of money for me on Poshmark. So I have sold over 1,100 items. I don't have the exact amount. I do primarily shop at the bins now, but some of these were sold in the first, couple months when I wasn't shopping at the bins. So I'm going to share each item, what it sold for, and where I found it, where I sourced it from. I'm not going to put the exact price of what I paid for it, but you should get an estimate. If it's the bins, it's between $1 or $2. If it's a thrift store, it's probably between $5 and $10. If it's a yard sale, who knows? I don't know. But I just thought this would be interesting to share. I'm also, just gonna kind of break it down at the end, summarize my thoughts. So if you're already subscribed and you enjoy reseller content, maybe you already sell on eBay or Poshmark, or you want to, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button down below. And if you enjoy this video and these kind of sharing is caring videos, hit the thumbs up. That lets me know I should do more of them. So first up, this video was sparked because I recently, a few days ago, sold an item for $170 on Poshmark. And it is my highest sale on Poshmark. And I do have something listed for much higher, which is a Chanel vintage bag. I'm waiting for the right buyer. So I wasn't expecting that to sell quickly, or maybe not even on that platform. But this is my highest price sale so far. And this, I believe, was in a haul video maybe a month or two ago. And it was I'm gonna insert photos, a Rocky Barnes and Cleo Bella collaboration. It's called the Bora Bora dress. My pictures are terrible, so I might insert a stock photo. The reason my pictures are terrible is because I have a short wall that I use to take photos. And so when I've got longer stuff, I've gotta break it up. For now, my photos are okay. Could they be better? Absolutely. Do I care too much? Not really. I still sell with decent photos. My lighting's decent. My photos tend to be decent. I'm not a photographer, and I think I could make improvements and maybe will down the road, but I try to do my best with what I have. So this stock photo is not what I used. I think I inserted it as a second photo just to give an idea of what it looked like, but it sold for $170. I found this at the bins, so I paid somewhere between $1 and $2. And it sold in less than 1 hour, which might be my quickest sale. So the comps on this were, a couple of these exact dresses had sold for about $170. I priced at $170. It sold for full price in less than an hour. And can't beat that. Cannot beat any of that. So after fees, I think it's a payout of $135. The second highest priced sale was a Burberry blue cashmere scarf, also at the bins. This sold for $150. This was actually in a very picked over bin. Maybe people thought it was fake. I did pay the $1 something at the bins, but I also paid $20 to get it authenticated. So in total, $21 to a little over $100 after fees. Quite happy with that, and I felt more confident having that authenticated. The next one is a find for my mom, and this was also in a haul video. I think she found this at a yard sale in Florida, so that was a fun haul of hers. It's a Robert Graham floral multicolor men's shirt. Very loud, colorful, and according to comps, those ones, the more loud, the more colorful, the more vibrant, the better the comps seem to be. This was, I believe, a size XL. I'm not going to put the sizes on here. I think someone left a comment recently and said on the what sold, can I leave sizes? I sell anything from extra, extra small to plus size and beyond. So I may consider doing sizes. If I can remember on these, I'll say that. The Rocky Barnes, the first one, was a medium. The Robert Graham shirt was, I believe, an XL for men. And it sold for $150. My mom got it at a yard sale for $1. And it sold pretty quickly, and I was really happy with that. So the next one, I've been saying this correctly, I've looked it up. I think some people left comments, but I've always said Acacia with this brand. It's actually Acacia, which is still pretty. I still like my Acacia, but Acacia This was a one-piece long sleeve swimsuit, and it's a very expensive swimwear line. Not all are gonna bring in $150, but these long sleeve, this was the full, I think the print was Naked Magnolia, one piece, and it sold for $145. I also found this at the bins. It was new with tags, and it was a size large. Size large for them is equivalent to small medium. It's a swimwear line, but yeah, it was just a beautiful one piece, new with tags. It did have a small like pull on it, so I disclosed that, but really happy about that sale. The next one was a Free People Tote crossbody bag. This sold within my first 2 months of reselling. I found it at a regular thrift store. I believe I paid somewhere between $5 or $6 for it. And I knew because of the quality it was something, but I couldn't find the brand until I got home. And sure enough, it was Free People. It was a very desirable kind of style bag. It was cowhide on one side, and it was kind of this crocheted thing on the other side. I can't remember. It's been 10 months, but it sold very quickly. I want to say within a few days, and it sold for $140, which is a great return. I don't have that luck with most Free People items, but there are certain Free People items that are very desirable, and that's one of them. So I was pretty happy about that. Next up is a St. John Black Label knit fringe jacket. This was kind of a yellow blackish knit color. And this sold for $125. This was from a regular thrift store. I believe I paid somewhere around $8 for it. And it was my first time finding St. John on my own, and kind of one of the more desirable items, which is kind of the knits that they have. And so yeah, $125 from $8 sounds good to me. It sold pretty quickly within a few days, and I was really happy about that. Next up was an Aritzia Wilford Free. I just remember I got this at a regular thrift store, and I just remember the girl helping me, the woman helping me. She's super nice at a regular Goodwill, and she's going through my stuff, and she picks this jacket up, and she's like, huh, I put this out yesterday, and I thought no one would want this. And I said, ironically, that's money right there. People will want that. It kind of looked, she said it looked like a bath rug, and it kind of did. It was called the Gret jacket. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, which is fine. The olive green color, it was funky. And I knew funky and this brand equaled money. So not all Wilford Free, but they're Wilford Free jackets. I think there's 2 of them on here. Have done pretty well for me. So that sold for $100 very quickly within a few days. And again, I only paid about $8 for it. Next up was a pair of cowboy boots. And I know that when I said this in a previous video, someone corrected me on how to pronounce it. Again, certain brands I don't find that often, so I try not, I don't care. I just don't care too much about pronouncing certain things correctly, but it's Lucchese. Everyone said it was a very good brand. I knew that based off of comps. This was a multicolor pair of women's cowboy boots, and my mom found them at a yard sale. I believe she paid about $10 for them, I wanna say. And it sold for $100. So not a bad return on a yard sale find from Mom. Thank you, Mom. I'm trying to give her credit where she's found some of these. Next up is a top, a sweater top and a skirt set. It was Burberry, and it was black and sleeveless on the knit top, and then it was kind of a pleated, I want to say, skirt. And this sold very quickly within a couple days. It sold for $98 for the pair. This was from a thrift store, not a Goodwill, some small church thrift store. And I believe I think in total it was, $5 or $6 for the both. So definitely a good return for that $98. And the girl was very happy when she got them. She sent me a little note, so that's always nice. I think a lot of people sent notes, but I just remember her being pretty excited. Next up is a pair of Fendi gray slide sandals. These I found at the bins. These were someone put inside kind of those cushion things, and they were sticky, and so there was residue, and it was just kind of a hot mess. So my dad actually helped get that stuff off, kind of brought them back to life. Took me a while to list, but they sold for $90. I got these at the bins, and yeah, not bad. Not bad. And thanks, Dad, for helping get the residue off. So next up is a Patricia Nash Vienna brown leather bag. This sold very quickly for $85. My mom got this at a yard sale, I believe. And yeah, really cute bag, sold quickly for a decent amount. I do look out for Patricia Nash. I think I've sold a wallet of this brand. So I mean, I think it's not cheap, and I think they sell it at a variety of department stores. But yeah, I'll continue picking that up. Next up is a Coach Red City cross grain leather tote. This was actually my personal. So I used to work in the startup culture in San Francisco. I would occasionally have to travel for work, or sometimes often, and this tote was just perfect to be able to hold, you know, laptop and stuff. And so I don't normally personally ever buy anything for myself. I want to say I bought this at a Nordstrom Rack or something, and it sold for $81. So I think it sold for more than I paid for it, but it was super cute and great condition. I'd only used it, you know, 10 times. And yeah, I was really happy with that sale. I think that's the only one that was my personal item. Next up was a Dooney & Bourke. This was a Sevilla. The line was Sevilla. It was kind of this burgundy, dark purple, had a red tint. Anyways, handbag. This one was kind of a bummer because, so this was early on in my reselling journey, and I decided to use someone else's photos because I was just excited to list it and I wasn't home. And I found the exact bag, but the color of the photos didn't match up exactly. So she actually left me, I believe, 4 stars and said she was disappointed that the color, she still liked the bag, but the color didn't match the photos. And that was my bad. That was my learning journey. I shouldn't have used someone else's photos. That's why I don't use stock photos for 99% of my items. I occasionally throw it in for a second photo if I need to support how it looks. I know I've been asked why that is. I used to work in marketing, and unless it's a stock photo that you have permission, written permission somewhere on some site that you can use that photo, technically it's not my property to use. So I because I know that background, I don't use stock photos. In a rare occasion, I'll use it as a second photo, but that's just personal choice. I have nothing against anyone using them. I guess just my background leads me to, I don't want to get sued. So, or VRO'd. Is VRO'd on eBay? Anyways, so Dooney & Bourke, it ended up selling for $80. I got it at a regular thrift store and it sold very quickly. So that's great. Next up is a Rebecca Minkoff. It was a large tan handbag. It was really good size. This one was so cute. It was right before Christmas and she was buying it for her husband to give to her, which was adorable. So she bought it. She told me, hey, my husband's, can you put it in another box? So he, you know, so I ended up putting it in a second box, putting it in a larger box so he wouldn't have to go find a box. She asked me if I had a matching wallet. I told her I didn't. It had some signs where it was actually from a ThredUp rescue box, but it sold for $80 very quickly and her notes were just too funny. So love that. Next up is a pair of Fry brown leather tech boots. And these I got at the bins. They sold very quickly within a couple days. It seems like all of these sold very quickly for high dollar amounts, which is fine by me. This was a dark brown, kind of had some buckle details, if I recall. Again, pictures will be here. But yeah, they were just a great classic Fry boot. Sold for $78, had some signs of wear. I was still happy with that. Sorry, sold for $80. And so I was really happy with that. Next up was an Aritzia, another Wilfred jacket. This was the Chevalier wool jacket, wool blend jacket, I believe. And it was new with tags from the bins. And it sold very quickly for $78. Very happy with that. Next up is a Kate Spade Kennedy black tote. This was kind of a nylon, easy to clean, kind of seems like a popular style. My dog wants to come in, but we're almost done. So this sold for $75. This also was in a ThredUp rescue box. I have not done ThredUp rescue boxes in quite some time, but those were the early days. And yeah, it was a quick sale, so happy about that. Next up was another pair of Fendi Sandals. I got this the same day as I got the first pair, and this didn't have as much cleaning up to do, so I listed these sooner. They sold for $75, and again from the bins, so happy about that. They had these like funky heels, which were unique. Next up, second to last, is a pair of Seychelles black Bebi Kilty loafers, I think is the name that I wrote down. These sold in a matter of a couple days. I got these at a regular thrift store, actually in Tehachapi. We don't have any Goodwills or Salvation Armies. We have a couple small thrift stores, but I rarely go in them. Just happened to stop into this one. They had this really cute pair of loafers. I had no cell phone reception, so I just took a chance, and they sold for $72. I think I only paid $3 or $4 for them. So that was a great one. And then lastly was a pair of Salvatore Ferragamo. These were black red print heels or pumps. They sold for $70. They were from a regular thrift store. My mom found these and they sold very quickly as well. So what I've learned from this, if anyone is still around, is not all items from these brands do well. I've sold these brands different items, and it does not mean that the brands associate with these dollar amounts. Items do matter. So certain items will do better and certain items won't do as well. Example, Aritzia or Wilfred. I've sold a tank top for $10. So, or, you know, Dooney and Burke. I've got some Dooney and Burke that I can't give away, it seems like, in my Poshmark closet. So it just depends, I think, on the items. I do price high if I can't find exact comps. And what I mean by that is if I find something like maybe the Burberry skirt set, I couldn't find that exact skirt set, so I priced high, and I can always bring down the price. It's much easier to bring down the price than put up, you know, someone buys it very quickly for way less than what it's worth. The other thing to note is out of this 20 items, 6 of them were shoes, 6 were bags, 3 were jackets, 1 was a swimwear item, 1 was a dress, 1 was a skirt set, 1 was a men's shirt, and 1 was a scarf. So why is that important for me? When I'm going out sourcing, if I go to a thrift store and I've got 30 minutes, I might want to focus on the shoes and bags and jackets, because that tends to do better for me as far as finding items that are worth a little bit more. And that's just kind of how I look at it. Now, I've sold a lot of tops for $30 to $50, and that, you know, those do well for me as well, or even $10. But if I only have a limited time, I might want to just focus on those areas. And then lastly, out of all of these items, 7 of them were from the bins, 7 of them were for regular thrift stores, 3 of them were from yard sales, 2 were from throw-up rescue boxes, and 1 was my personal closet. And it just shows that I do source at a variety of places, and I think you can find things at a variety of places. I prefer the bins, but it's a bit farther, so I don't always get to go. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit the thumbs up if you liked it. I hope this was somewhat helpful to share some of the brands I've actually sold. And for me, this is helpful to reflect on my own sales and not just comps. So anyways, hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.